are ready to do that, and here is your lineup for the Kings Royal, the 14th annual, as we get that look at this front row. The 1992 winner alongside of the guy who has won the Kings Royal 3 times, Slammin' Sammy and the King. Jack Hodenshield, he's a 2-time winner here at this event. Stevie Smith, he has 3 feature wins in 97. Gary Brazier, the quick Aussie, up against Mark Kinzer, who has never won this race but has 15 wins in 97. Joey Saldana, 4 All-Star victories this year, has Kenny Jacobs alongside of him. Kenny has won 3 of 4 races with the All-Stars here this year. The Buckeye Bullet, 2 times he has won this, Dave Blaney. And, of course, Donnie Tequila Shots is the Rookie of the Year points leader with the World of Outlaws. Greg Hodnett will come in with the 11-8. He was the B winner. And Gus Wasson alongside of him. Andy Hillenberg still looking for his first feature win of 1997. Terry McCarl, Neer, and Keith Kaufman, one of the quickest out of Pennsylvania. As we work our way back through, Johnny Herrera, of course, the winner of this event last year. Danny Smith back there in row 10. Dale Blaney running one of his brother's engines tonight. Paul McMahon in the Mopar back in row 12. And Danny the Dude Lasowski and Jeff Swindell will be provisionals. 26 cars in tonight's race, Bobby Gerald. The Kings Royal has never started more than 24.
I am so looking forward to this, Ralph Shaheen. It's very interesting. We just talked with the Goodyear guys about tire choices. The top 3 guys in terms of, some of the top 3 runners, Mark Kinzer, Dave Blaney, and Jack Hodenshield, all going with the 25C. That's your average standard Goodyear tire. Steve Kinzer's team, though, has put on a 40A. That is a harder compound tire. As a matter of fact, there's a choice in between. They went all the way with the hardest one, Dave Reeve.
Well, I'm down here with Stu Murray, and we already know that Mark Kinzer has his game face on, but they're also playing on a little superstition tonight. Every big race Mark's been to, he has touched the sock of Stu Murray, the Working America president that you're looking at now. But if you look down, there is no sock on Stu Murray. That's because it is in the pocket of Mark Kinzer out on the racetrack right now.
I'm not so sure I want to be in that car right now.
Do whatever you have to do to win.
I guess. Team Jacobs pitted after pushing off. He will be forced to start at the back now in the 1F car, the Frigidaire back machine.
Well, it didn't hurt him that bad. He was scheduled to start 23rd anyway, so whatever the problem was, it didn't set him back that much.
Brad, 40 laps. How is that different mentally and how you prepare for this as the World of Outlaws go 4 abreast now in their traditional salute to the fans?
Well, this race, the last 10 laps, being a 40-lapper, it seems like for the last few years, the last 10 laps, drastic things have happened. Dramatic things have happened. Lead changes, cars braking. So, like Hodenshield says, you just want to try to, not like Winston Cup, you don't just hang around ever in sprint car racing, but you got to save a little bit for the end.
Now listen to this crowd as they get set in their traditional salute. 50 grand coming up for grabs, and these fans love their Outlaws. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,200 pounds. They're packing 800 horsepower of alcohol-eating, fire-belching horsepower buried in their bellies, and they got those massive wings the size of Texas strapped to the roofs. And some of the best drivers at the controls as we get set to go around this 13-second lap time half mile with 28-degree bank turns. This is going to be awesome for 40 laps.
Yeah, this is showing Dave Blaney there. You know, we talked about him and Hod. It's going to be hard to beat Sammy and Steve off the front row for sure. Jack's right there, but Blaney's got a long way to go. As you see, Jeff Swindell, they did make it. They got the problem fixed and going to start the A-main.
He'll line up in the back alongside of Danny Lasowski. Slamming Sammy Swindell and the King. Steve Kinzer leading him to the green flag. The Kings Royal is underway.
actually hit him. It looked like Greg turned the car so fast to avoid it. One of the tire dug in and flipped him. Both of those hard hits. If you look at Stevie Smith's car, though, the wing is intact. It more or less pirouetted in the air. He doesn't even look like he flipped, but he did. I mean, it was a hard hit.
You were right about him not hitting him, I think, Brad. I looked over there and just saw him flying through the air, and the pack was so tight over there, I just basically assumed it from the looks of things that he had to have hit him.
It just, yeah, he did a good job not to. It just got so bottled up down there that Stevie's lucky that a bunch of guys didn't run into him, actually.
Greg Hodnett able to climb out and get away, but look at how he has destroyed this car. The gas tank ripped away. You can see all the damage, the nose wing gone. Here's our first look at this. Now, Stevie Smith has already gone over. Watch Hodnett right here.
Oh, he gets up over the left rear wheel of...
Hey, that wasn't so bad, was he? He did hit somebody.
Yeah, it looks like it might have been Kenny Jacobs, but when he turned the car, the car rode right up over the left
rear. Look at Blaney just missing. That's Blaney going down there, isn't it? He just missed him.
Like that's Frankie Kerr. Just about hit him. See, we're going to get another look at it from another angle here.
Stevie Smith already going over.
Yeah, there's Stevie. Top. Okay, there's Stevie Smith sitting in there.
Here it is.
There's Greg Hodnett.
Now, watch Blaney come through here. You see him up above. Look at that. Oh, unbelievable.
It looks like Blaney ran over his wing, ran over Hodnett's wing as he was coming down.
Now, this is from Jack Hodenshield's onboard camera. That's Stevie Smith exploding the dirt behind him.
Boy, that was an impact.
Now, under this red flag condition, Dave Blaney's crew is looking things over on the 10 car as Greg Hodnett takes a look at his Sal Michelle car. Let's check in with Bobby Jarrell.
Well, we can tell you for sure that Kenny Jacobs did get a piece of the action. Take a look at the left rear tire, which has already come off, and they have changed it. So Stevie Smith a real lucky break for Kenny Jacobs as far as the red flag coming out because he's able to change the tire. Dave Reef?
Stevie Smith, first things first, you are okay?
Yeah.
Talk about what happened. What got you into trouble?
You can't see the wall. You're running 150 mile an hour, and it's completely brown, blended in with the racetrack. I mean, there's no way you can see it. Look over there, getting in the corner. We need some people to scrape the wall down. If I'd have thought of it earlier, I would have had them do it.
Stevie Smith sending a message. Obviously disappointed to be out of the King's Royal.
Well, now that's a point he brings up. Last night they did go out there when it was completely covered, and they cut what looked like just white stripes, just basically scraping the dirt off every 3-4 feet, and made it look up there, a bunch of white lines so the drivers could actually see where the wall was. It cost Greg Hodnett and Stevie Smith. We'll be back.
Welcome back to the King's Royal. The red flag is still out for the $50,000 feature. Nobody is injured. You know, I grew up in this business. I started really in the food business when I was about 12 years old, and I know a good operation when I see it. And Earl Ballas knows all these people are going to be out here a long time, and he's got to feed them. They travel on their stomach like an army. And do they ever eat here? Because when's the last time you got a hamburger at a special event for $1.50? Or a cheeseburger, freshly cooked. I mean, really good. I've had about a dozen of them since I've been here for $1.75. Everything you see here is very reasonably priced. In fact, you can get a lemonade for 50 cents. All in all, the fans respond. They don't bother to bring their own food because they know that here at Eldora, they can eat with the best of them. Let's go down to Dave Reef with Greg Hodnett.
Well, you can see what's left of the Selma Show, car number 11H. You can't even read the number on the wing as they get ready to set it down. I've got Greg Hodnett standing right here. Greg, number one for you. Are you okay?
Yeah, I don't like to get on TV this way, but I guess this is what's going to happen.
Looks like you were kind of, an innocent victim. What took place from your vantage?
Well, we had started 11 and probably made it up to about 6 there, and I think Stevie got up here and maybe pushed, and he jumped the cushion and hit the wall and kind of come back off of it, and I was had a head of steam, and I couldn't slow down, and I just kind of got in there and clipped him and hit the fence all at the same time, and that's about all she wrote for this car.
Race car junk?
Well, if it wasn't, it is now.
Let's go down to the 10 pit. Bobby?
All right, Dave, let's show you the piece of the action that Dave Blaney got. If you take a look at the bottom of his front or his top wing on the right side panel, you can see where it was dented. Also, his front wing got a piece of the action. They have since replaced that. They've also replaced the top wing, so new wings all the way around for Dave Blaney, and he will be ready to go and resume the fight here in the King's Royal. Ralph?
Now, an interesting thing on that, because they changed the wings, that will not affect where Dave will restart the race. However, Kenny Jacobs changed the tire, which will make him go to the rear of the restart.
Well, yeah, Bobby talked about it maybe being lucky. I look at it as a former driver as unlucky because Greg Hodnett is the one that got into Kenny Jacobs, rode up over his left rear when he flipped, and that flattened Kenny Jacobs. So he was actually unlucky there. Now he's forced to go to the tail.
Here's a look at your top 10 as we get set to start this one up again. How about Gary Brazier sitting back there in 5th? Mark Kinzer's never won this race. He's in 4th. We'll be right back. You're looking at the remains of the number 19, the black 19 of Stevie Smith. His father, Steve Smith, designed this new chassis that Stevie drives. It's 30 pounds heavier, Brad, than the other cars in the field. And one of the reasons why is Steve Sr. has decided to add some extra bars to the car to make it safer, he feels, for his son to drive. And it took a pretty nasty flip in this wreck. Take a look at this. And it survives pretty good as you look at the back of Jack Hodden's shield. Watch it come flying into your screen from the left.
Hard impact. Boy, that just jars you.
Now, Brad, I also see some of those white marks on the wall that Stevie was looking for.
Yeah.
Some of them were there.
Yeah, where he hit it at, they did have it scraped off there.
You can see them here to the left. A little bit more in the middle there, they weren't as visible. And there's Hodnett. Look at the ride.
And there's where Blaney got his wing. Actually, it looked like Blaney's front tire might have hit too. I wonder if they checked the front axle, make sure it wasn't bent.
Terry McCarl and Frankie
right there,
Kershaw
Hodnett gets up over, and the right side of the screen gets up over Kenny Jacobs' left rear.
Look at the wild ride he takes. That's 10, 15 feet in the air right there.
I wonder if Blaney thought about gassing it and driving under him while he was still in the air.
Bobby Gerald?
Well, Scott Gherkin turns the wrenches and calls the shots for Steve Kinzer, along with Steve. And you guys tonight chose the 40A Goodyear tire. That's a harder compound than really any of the other heavy hitters we're going with. What was the thought process there?
Well, we just sort of talked to some of the guys that ran the B main and some of the other races, and they felt that the thing might take some rubber, and it was hurting tires quite a bit in the B main. It's sort of a gamble sometimes. You don't really know which way you need to go. I mean, we may seal our tire over, and those guys are great, or it may hurt tires more and we'll be in good shape. You just never know.
We'll know after the checkered flag, right, Scott? All right. Steve Evans?
We will know indeed. I said earlier the Eldora crowd was a very knowledgeable crowd. Let's find out. This is Ron from Ohio. Ron, what is the trick question here? What is the minimum weight of an Outlaw sprint car?
I would say it's 800 pounds.
Well, you're wrong. What is the maximum engine size of an Outlaw sprint car?
410.
All right, you get the T-shirt. I said it was a trick question. There is no minimum weight on an Outlaw sprint car, guys.
Brad, so much more I know.
You think there should be?
They have to do something, Ralph. I'm not sure what the answer is, and I hate to get out of this easy, but it's getting so expensive. We've talked about it before with the titanium and all the trick materials they're using and things. So they have to do something, whether it's a weight limit or just limiting certain kinds of material. They have to do something to cut the cost.